Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, we returned to Olympus Coliseum to take on the first of the special matches, the Gold Match. In it, Sora was pitted alone against the bone-chilling Ice Titan, who unleashed a blizzard of icicle spears and all manners of frost to take us down. We managed to pull through, but were sadly left with no reward other than bragging rights for the hard-fought battle. This time, we're facing the final super boss of the original Kingdom Hearts, or at least the international version. We've unlocked this battle from locking Calabastian's keyhole. Now then, off-screen, I went and synthesized 3 defense ups for this upcoming fight because I feel like I need every bit of defense that I possibly can on Sora. I don't know if there is a limit to it, but hey, more defense is better than nothing. If we go to our attributes, this is what Sora's rocking with for stats. 74 strength and 70 defense. I think that should be just about fine for what we need for this battle. It is recommended to be around level 75 to 80 at least for this fight. If you're not in that level range or want to be stronger, I recommend 2 methods to get levels quickly. First, use the synthesis hunting route in Traverse Town using the 2nd district to alleyway chain I mentioned back after we rescued Kairi, as you will face a number of strong enemies that give a lot of experience and get some nice synthesis rewards for doing so. This is pretty much how I leveled up for a lot of this before we got into the super bosses. The other recommendation is, if you have beaten the Hades Cup time trial, you can now challenge the Rock Titan anytime you like. In the original game, he gives out 4,000 experience on defeat and tech experience for every hit that he takes. Having Aeroga at this point will make him pretty much the best source of experience if you want just a simple, straightforward fight. For abilities, we want to have Guard, Counterattack, some Combo Plus, some Air Combo Plus, though you do not want to land combo finishers on this boss because he has a revenge counter and the combo finishers are very slow. You will want at least 2 copies of Critical Plus. If you are playing the original, Vortex can be fine. It is a little slow though, so be careful about it. We will want MP Haste, MP Rage, in both cases, Second Chance, definitely, and Strike Raid. If you are playing the Final Mix version, you will also want Leaf Bracer, Combo Master, Hurricane Blast, Sliding Dash, and Slap Shots. That is pretty much all that I can say ability-wise for what you want for this fight, because this fight is tough. I would also recommend having Aeroga and Curaga on your shortcut menu. You are definitely going to want Curaga, as it is the only surefire way to get some healing. And I also, once again, recommend using Curaga while in the air because it comes out just a bit faster, especially if you're playing the OG version like I am. But I would also recommend stocking up Sora's item slots with as many elixirs as you possibly can, or mega elixirs if you don't have enough elixirs to see you through. I have gotten all 8 of my slots filled up with elixirs. I've gotten quite a bit of them off of defeating enemies from my grind, and I did synthesize at least 1. So we should be good. I do have extras in the back, but I don't think that I will be pulling from stock during this. I don't think that's even a thing in this version of the game or in this game as a whole. Finally, I would recommend saving before going into the fight with all of this stuff set up, as any items used during a failed attempt are gone for good. Might as well not burn those if you don't have to. I will say I am a little nervous, as this is the one fight in the original Kingdom Hearts that I have never beaten. Depending on how things go, this may just be an attempt or 2, as in this version of the game there is no reward for victory other than bragging rights. That said, Whether I win or lose, I will go over the reward that you will get in Final Mix, as I have with every other Final Mix exclusive reward for the super bosses. As a final note, I will be linking an in-depth guide to this fight. A little iCard should pop up right about now. And it will be in the description of this video, as it goes into far greater detail than I could ever manage to cover this boss in its entirety and how to beat it during commentary in the heat of battle. So, with nothing else to do, let's get this started. The final mystery is challenged. The one-winged angel and leading villain of Final Fantasy VII descends for a duel. This is Sephiroth.
This should help. Heal.
I was a bit too close. I did not believe that I could do that. Oh my god.
That's the power of the Keyblade!
Oh, that was stressful. I mean, I was getting so excited I didn't want to say much just because I was so focused on the fight, and I know I probably played pretty awfully at the start of that. And having to use 2 elixirs was definitely not ideal, but oh my goodness, I cannot believe I just did that. First try. I remember that fight giving me so much trouble back in the day, purely because of his Descend Heartless Angel attack, and how he would keep on teleporting. I can't believe I managed to only get hit by it twice, and the one time that it would have actually mattered, I managed to get the elixir off just in the nick of time. Thank goodness. Whew. Well, unfortunately, Like I said, with the gold match in Kurt Ziza, those playing the original game get nothing other than bragging rights for that fight being completed. That monstrous difficulty. Surely, I mean, granted, bragging rights is fine when you're a kid and all, but I would have liked to have gotten something from this, but oh well, that's not the version of the game that I'm playing, so, anyway, now, to go over what you would get if you do this fight and win in the final mix version. There are a few rewards, starting with a new Keyblade. On screen now, you will see the One-Winged Angel, the final Keyblade that you are likely to acquire in the final mix version, and it is sadly purely a trophy. It boasts a long reach and a decent 8 strength, but is lackluster due to its 10% critical rate, topping off at 40% critical rate with 3 critical pluses equipped. It is also rather poor because it reduces your max MP by 2. So, if you're a magic build, definitely not the Keyblade for you. The trade-off, however, lies in its critical strength, as each critical hit it lands has a whopping plus 16 strength modifier, so pretty dang strong. Unfortunately, this is rather lackluster given the damage cap that I've mentioned previously. 55 to 60 is pretty much the highest that your strength stat matters before you start getting hard capped. But I suppose it is better than nothing in terms of uniqueness to the Keyblade, and does tie well in with how Sephiroth is as a fighter, being unimaginably strong. Next, upon exiting the Colosseum lobby to the Colosseum gates in the Final Mix version, you will be treated to a scene if you win the Platinum match. You'll view a scene of Cloud confronting Sephiroth in the Colosseum, as it was Sephiroth who Cloud tried to find by working for Hades. This is more or less an addition to set up their story in the next mainline game, Kingdom Hearts 2, but there is one element there that was cut from the original Kingdom Hearts due to the time frame. The inclusion of Final Fantasy VII character Tifa Lockhart. But her story is for another day. While we are out here, I do want to point out some things I missed in terms of rewards for the Hades Cup. If we go over here, we see this purple pot that wasn't here before. If we examine it, we get an orichalcum. Not all that worth it for me right now, since I've already done all the synthesis that I could ever need orichalcums for. The other thing that is available to us now, since we have Blizzaga from completing the 40th seed of the Hades Cup, we can now put out the braziers again to unlock a new chest here. This chest will give you a Holy G, which I cannot pick up due to claiming the 101 Dalmatians reward, so I will not bother with it, but I just wanted to let you guys know that it's here. There was also one more reward for this fight, and it ties directly into what I want to spend the remainder of this episode focusing on, Ansem's report. So let's quickly read through all of Ansem's reports now that we have nothing else to do. So starting off, we have Ansem's report 1, which we received off of Jafar in Agrabah near the world's keyhole after our fight. Much of my life has been dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. That knowledge has guarded this world well. Not a soul doubts that I am blessed with my people's smiles and respect. But though I am called a sage, there are things I do not understand. I believe darkness sleeps in every heart, no matter how pure. Given the chance, the smallest drop can spread and swallow the heart. I have witnessed it many times. Darkness of the heart. How is it born? How does it come to affect us so? As ruler of this world, I must find the answers. I must find them before the world is lost to those taken by darkness. Again, as I said before when I read that the first time, kind of a main character syndrome with this guy, but oh well. If it wasn't for his hubris, we probably wouldn't have this game. Report 2. This was recovered by Aerith in Hall Bastion's library for us. It is my duty to expose what this darkness really is. I shall conduct the following experiments. Extract the darkness from a person's heart. Cultivate the darkness in a pure heart. Both suppress and amplify the darkness within. The experiments caused the test subjects' hearts to collapse, including those of the most stalwart. How fragile our hearts are. My treatment produced no signs of recovery. I confined those who had completely lost their hearts beneath the castle. Sometime later, I went below and was greeted by the strangest sight. Creatures that seemed born of darkness. What are they? Are they truly sentient beings? Could they be the shadows of those who have lost their hearts in my experiments? Well, playing with the heart, as we saw with Dr. Finkelstein back in Halloween Town, not the best idea, and this guy took it a step further. Report 3. This section was recovered off of Giant Ursula in the unknown stretch of ocean in Atlantica. The shadows that crawl beneath the castle. Are they the people who lost their hearts, or incarnations of darkness, or something entirely beyond imagination? All my knowledge has provided no answer. One thing I am sure of is that they are entirely devoid of emotion. Perhaps further study will unlock the mysteries of the heart. Fortunately, there is no shortage of test samples. They are multiplying underground, even as I write this report. They still need a name. Those who lack hearts. I will call them the Heartless. Very clinical, Ansem. Up next is Report 4. This section was also recovered by Aerith from Hollow Bastion's library. The Heartless appear in groups and are multiplying rapidly. I provided them both living and non-living samples. They responded only to the living. They seem to multiply after absorbing something from the living creature. Their prey vanishes without a trace. I believe the Heartless are taking hearts. They are born from those who've lost their hearts, and thrive on hearts seized from others. The hearts taken by Heartless become heartless themselves. Though I lack proof, I am confident in this hypothesis. I must also study their behavioral principles. Though they lack emotions, they do seem to have some intelligence. How to communicate with them. It just occurred to me. Could they be the darkness in people's hearts? A very astute observation, Ansem, though one that I wish that you hadn't looked further into. Up next is Ansem Report 5. We got this section from defeating Maleficent in Hollow Bastion after our fight in the castle chapel. To study Heartless behavior, I picked one out for observation. It wiggled its antennae, as if sensing a target, headed deep into the castle. In the deepest part of the castle, its antennae began vibrating, as if searching for something. Suddenly, a strange door appeared. I'd never known of its existence. It had a large keyhole, but didn't seem to be locked, so I opened the door. Yeah, curiosity got you good, didn't it, Ansem? Up next, Ansem's Report 6, again another section recovered by Aerith from Hollow Bastion's library. A massive core of energy lay beyond the door, sought by the Heartless. It may well be the ultimate goal of all Heartless. But what is that energy? I've devised a hypothesis based upon my observations of the Heartless. The Heartless feed on others' hearts, and they yearn for that energy core. That thing beyond the door must be a heart too, the heart of this world. There is no proof, but having felt that immense energy, I am certain that was the heart of the world. The Heartless are trying to take hearts not only from all living creatures, but from the world itself. But what do they mean to do with the heart of the world? A good question, though one we don't want the answers to, I'm sure. Up next, Section 7. This section was recovered off of Oogie Boogie in Halloween Town during our showdown in his torture chamber. I am now studying material from the meteors that rained down that fateful night. What a find. The material is foreign to our world. It is elastic to the touch, and when two pieces are combined, they bond easily. None of the records I've scoured even mention such a substance. Was it introduced to this world when I opened the door? I wonder how many other such materials drift through the atmosphere of this tiny world. I wish I could soar off and find out. Could there be uncharted worlds up there? My curiosity never ceases to grow, but I should stop speaking of such unrealistic dreams. For now, there is no way to venture outside this world. My people and I are all but prisoners of this tiny place. That kind of reminds me of Riku in a way. Trapped on Destiny Islands, wanting to see other worlds and escape what would be a paradise, but to Riku was a prison of sorts. Up next, Ansem's Report 8, we got this off of Hades in the final rounds of the Hades Cup here in the Colosseum. There is no doubt that the Heartless are deeply connected to people's hearts. Further study may unravel both their motivations and the mysteries. Shrouding the Heart. As a start, I have built a device that artificially created Heartless. By recreating the conditions that spawn the Heartless naturally, I should be able to produce them artificially. This device is the culmination of all my research thus far. The machine's test run successfully created a Heartless. This may be a step toward creating a heart from nothing. The artificially and naturally created Heartless showed nearly identical traits, but the two types should remain distinct for the purposes of this experiment. So, I will mark the ones that are created artificially. So, that basically goes into a bit of lore that I dropped all the way back at the start of the series when we were in Traverse Town and encountered our first soldier. He created the emblem Heartless, artificial Heartless designed to hold hearts, whereas purebloods are made from the darkness in people's hearts, as we were shown when Sora became a shadow after losing his. Up next, Ansem's Report 9. This was recovered off of Captain Hook on the deck of his ship in Neverland. Simply astonishing. Today I had a guest from another world. He is a king, and his vessel is built of the material that composed the meteors. He called the pieces gummy blocks. It seems that my opening that door has opened a path to inner world travel. We talked for countless hours, but one story in particular caught my interest, that of a key called the Keyblade. The Keyblade is said to hold phenomenal power. One legend says its wielder saved the world, while another says that he wrought chaos and ruin upon it. I must know what this Keyblade is. A key opens doors. It must be connected to the door that I have opened. So he knew King Mickey. That's disconcerting that Mickey basically revealed the full world order to him, and he ended up going in to break it, more or less. Finally, Report 10. This section was also recovered from Aerith from Holobastion's library. Just as people have hearts, so do worlds. The same can be said of the stars in the night sky, and deep within each world lies a door to its heart. The Heartless desire those hearts, born out of darkness in people's hearts. They seek to return to a greater heart. Yes, that's it. The Heartless come from people's hearts, as does the darkness. Is the core of the world's heart the world of the Heartless? I will pursue the answer there and become all-knowing. My path is set. I shall seek out the wielder of the Keyblade and the princesses. My body is too frail for such a journey, but I must do this. I will cast it off and plunge into the depths of darkness. Well, hubris got the better of him, and he sought knowledge even beyond himself, to the point of even casting off his own body and becoming a Heartless himself. And that Heartless ended up taking over Riku. It's quite tragic. Now, additionally, there were 3 reports added to the final mix version of the game. As I had elaborated on with the Kurt Ziza episode, Report 11, and yes, it was 11, not 12, would be gained after defeating him. Report 12 would actually be your final reward for completing the Platinum match against Sephiroth. And Report 13 would be recovered from the only Final Mix exclusive super boss, Unknown, which is found at the Castle Chapel of Holobastion after you first arrived at the end of the world. I will not be going over those reports because I don't have them and don't want to go through the means of getting the text just to read it off to you, but I will include a link in the description for you guys to go check it out if you so wish. All that said, we now have a better understanding of Ansem, and we've completed up every side objective that Kingdom Hearts has to offer, at least as far as the original version of the game is concerned. Next time, we're heading back to the end of the world and finally confronting Ansem. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.